Here was another mass shooting in America, which I don't think surprises anyone. But over the weekend, a man identified as Thomas Jacob Sanford had attacked a Mormon church in Grand Blanc, Michigan. 4 people were killed, at least 8 were wounded. Authorities said that Sanford rammed his pickup truck into the church's front door. That, by the way, that pickup truck was adorned with American flags. And he did that before he started shooting, and then later on set the building on fire. So I don't know. It seems kind of like this was personal, but I don't know. Responding police officers engaged Sanford in a firefight, and he was subsequently killed. Again, this is the latest example of violence, which is starting to leave people wondering what the hell is going on here. Does it feel like things have gotten more violent, or are we just paying more attention? I mean, that is the question, right? That said, people are drawing their own conclusions despite a lack of a known motive, and it's not like you're going to get it out of Sanford now. Speaking of that, look, Trump wrote on True Social that he believes that this is another targeted attack against Christians, which I think it's interesting to frame it that way, as there are some Christians on the right wing that actually don't consider Mormons to be part of the Christian faith, even though they do believe in Jesus, and the Moroni supposed to be Jesus reincarnated. It's Mormons. I mean, they got some strange beliefs, but no stranger, I think, in my opinion, than really any other mainstream religion. But anyway, yeah, they do believe in Jesus, and they do believe in God. So they would be technically of the Christian faith, I would believe. But anyway, here's what Trump said on True Social. This appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. The Trump administration will keep the public posted, as we always do. In the meantime, pray for the victims and their families. This epidemic of violence in our country must end immediately. Hey, look, I agree. Yes, the epidemic of violence must end. Oh, yeah, I do agree with that. But the funny thing is that this comes from a man who continues to stoke the fires of violence, the flames of violence, while wondering why everything seems to be catching on fire these days. That said, while we do not know a motive in this particular case, there were signs. And I'm saying literal signs of what he apparently believed. As you can see, this is a Trump sign. Yeah, okay. Outside of the suspect's home on the 4100 block of East Atherton Road in Burton, which is about 15 minutes away by a car, obviously, or truck, from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township, where he committed this horrific act. So, naturally, people saw that and were like, I don't know, maybe he might be a MAGA guy. It is very possible. Republicans, of course, look at the placement of that sign, and was like, aha! You see, it was above stop sign, which means he wanted to actually stop Trump. What are you talking about? What? Huh? I mean, that's a stretch. I mean, to me, it feels like big time cope, because there is a sign, a literal Trump sign, but they're like, yeah, you see, it's above stop sign, so stop Trump. No, that placement would actually spell out Trump stop, not stop Trump. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. Okay. All right, sure. But no, there's more. You have this. Notice the shirt. Sanford, back in 2019, wearing a Trump Make Liberals Cry Again shirt. Yeah. So, yeah, but you know, false flag. 6 years in the making to make Donald Trump look bad. Cope. total cope and seethe. Okay. Look, what about his voting records? Records do show that Sanford had no recorded party affiliation, but that is because Michigan has an open primary system, so you don't have to register with a party. Okay. So, now that said, Sanford did sign some petitions that may have offered more clues into his political leanings. In 2021, for example, he signed an Unlock Michigan petition, which would have repealed Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer's pandemic emergency powers. Oh, okay. So that was pushed by Republicans in Michigan. And then there was a 2020 push by Right to Life Michigan to outlaw an abortion procedure. Okay. And there you go. It seems pretty clear what side of the aisle this gentleman belonged to. Okay. But that said, that doesn't exactly give you a motive here. There are plenty of Trump supporters that haven't done any violence, that don't go and shoot up churches. Okay. And the question is, why attack the Mormons? The Mormons didn't really, the Mormons don't really do a whole lot that's apparently objectionable to other right wingers. I don't know. To me, this doesn't seem like it's political violence. Okay, it's not like MAGA hates the Mormons. You know, there are some weirdos on the right that are like, they're not actual real Christians. Okay, but that's a minority of a minority, right? No, what I'm gonna guess, and I'm not basing this on any information that I have or anything, but it feels like that this would be personal. Okay, this guy who was a veteran that served in Iraq, maybe he wanted to go out in a so-called blaze of glory and chose a place that was not only nearby, but was filled with people that maybe he could take with him. I don't know for certain. We will have to wait for more real details to come out. That said, that didn't stop MAGA from immediately putting the blame on the left. Of course. Starting with Laura Loomer, who wrote, hate against Christians is widespread in places like Michigan because the entire state is being taken over by Muslims who refuse to assimilate. Okay, again, that's crap. I live in the state of Michigan. I would know if my entire state was being taken over by Islam. Okay? It's not. It's not. Less than 3% of the population of the state identify as Muslim. And there's absolutely no evidence that shooter is Muslim. But he has a beard. Oh, facts, man. They don't stop people like Laura Loomer. Oh, no.
Just forget about the evidence.
As always. Now, she continues. The Democrats in Michigan are running a Muslim for Senate in 2026 named Abdul El-Sayed. He is openly tied to the Muslim Brotherhood and refused to condemn Sharia law. Oh my God. Sharia law. What's Sharia? Where's this Sharia law that I keep reading about? I don't know. I don't understand. When I confronted him on video in 2018 when he was running for governor, beware, Michigan. Only you can stop the Islamic invasion of your state before it becomes uninhabitable for Christians and Jews. For one, the shooter was a white guy with MAGA merch and a MAGA sign. That doesn't sound like your average Islamic extremist. Maybe an extremist in another way, but come on. And look, I personally met Abdul El-Sayed at least a couple times, okay? One of them, I just randomly bumped into him when I was in Detroit. Super nice guy. I don't think he's planning to, take over the state and institute Sharia law, okay? That doesn't make any sense. But this idea, though, that Christianity itself is under attack is absolutely ridiculous. And notice, by the way, I was reading the story earlier today, and I was thinking, wait a minute. So this proves that there is an attack on Christianity. But did they say the same thing when Dylan Roof attacked a church okay, and killed 9 people? No, they didn't. What was the difference there? Does anybody know what the difference there between this church and that church was, or that shooting? They were both white guys with guns. Okay, that's a thing. What was the difference here? What was the difference? Oh, I know. The church in the Emmanuel AME Church actually had a primarily black delegation. Oh, and the motive for that was of course racism, right? Which it doesn't seem to be the case here. Okay, but on that, so attack a black church, and that's not an attack on Christianity, because there was nobody on the right wing that was like, this is an Dylan Roof attacked Christianity. How dare he? But on this one, this one counts as an attack on Christianity, where a white MAGA guy attacks a Mormon church. That's the attack on Christianity. Yeah, I don't know. It gets dumber, though, obviously. Another MAGA supporter wrote on X, this is a Mormon church coincidence. Mere weeks after Charlie Kirk's assassination, Tyler Robinson, raised in a Mormon home, gunned him down. Attackers now attack a Mormon church in Michigan, leaving multiple shot. Okay, deep ties to the trans cult or something darker at play. Democrats. What? What is that? That doesn't make any sense. Look, it either comes down to them for Muslims, trans people, or anyone on the left. Minorities, basically. They're targeting minorities. And again, in larger part, they're targeting the left, who are trying to protect the minorities that constantly get attacked and blamed for the political violence that they are receiving, not enacting. The vast majority, the overwhelming majority of mass shooters are actually cis white men. So, I mean, I'm just saying that's the reality here. But all of this shows you that there's a lot of people who don't live in reality anymore. Maybe they never have. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.